all these teams are going to be super comfortable on it. They're going to have to try and bring that comfort to bear as we enter King's Row here. So let's see how these teams start to put their their comps together here. Interesting to note that we did see Samer off that support, which he does main, and on to that Zarya in the control point version of round of that map in the quarterfinal. See if he opts to go back to that Ana that he played before. Very, very convincing on that Ana. And his team completely stomped it across. Don't think that's going to be the comp for the side of Adopted Penguins, though. I'm imagining a couple of switches coming out from them. But interestingly, Arathin actually has that Ana hovered.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting, like on the side of Nexus game. I think they're going to go for their traditional, as we're talking about, Tesma is going to be sticking on the Zarya, of course. But the thing is, we do also know about that he can swap to that support. So if situations do occur, he is the most experienced player on it. But on the side of the Penguins, how do you think they're going to tackle this first? Do you think they need to go for a dive comp? Do they need to get early control? Certainly many options available.
I am quite a fan of taking the hotel on the right and playing that high ground position, because the one thing that you can really do, because don't know what happened there. I think we just gone back to lobby. I think skins weren't disabled. And kill cam wasn't disabled. So a couple of settings weren't quite right, guys. Sorry about that. We will just get into it. Luckily, we hadn't started the game, so we will be able to just sort of jump straight back in. But yeah, we saw they went for that Diva Winston comp, which is quite interesting on defense. I'm not too sure how that's going to stack up. We'll see how they do there. But with someone like Zarya being so prevalent at the moment, with the current meta, with the patch and the buff, with Reinhardt being a little bit more played, they could potentially opt for this sort of tanky dive comp that kind of is a little bit of a departure from the classic dive comp that we see, Winston, Tracer, Genji, and whoever else really, Diva. But we'll see how they stack up. I mean, it's all about how they play this first point. If they can get a little bit of momentum, I think they'll be able to get the second capture point. Not too sure about the third.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, like with the Zarya pick. Do you see, John, it going back to, we had, like, through each season we've had a different meta shift. So, like, this season it's more been favoured to the dive comp. The previous one was a tank meta. Then before that you had the Ana and the Reaper combination. Do you see the meta potentially going back to the standard 3 tank meta?
I don't necessarily think 3 tank. I think 2 tank. I think 2-2-2 is where we're currently looking at, especially like with the Zarya changes. She doesn't really fit into a dive comp too well, other than potentially. I mean, really going to be sat on the back line. So if you have an Ana with your dive comp, that could be something that you're going to be looking to pair with Zarya. But I think in general, especially on these control points, dive comps aren't really so strong. These capture and hybrid maps is, of course, a little bit more easier to bring them out and make them work for you. But not sure if we're going to see. I don't think we're going to stick to the dive comp. I think we are going to see a little bit of a departure back to the 2-2-2, maybe to the 3-2-1. But I'm a little bit skeptical about that. I think 2-2-2 is where it's at currently.
I think 2-2-2 is your safe option. That's probably the best, like one of the best ways to say it, John. I think regarding the situation with 2-2-2, a lot of teams are more comfortable with it. Like 3-2-1 can be more of a risk. It's like if you get advantage early, it's great, it pays off for you, but also then you can hit a wall very quickly. And I think it's, especially with 2-2-1, it's very easy to counteract that style of play compared to a standard 2-2-2.
We'll see how they actually opt to stack up here. Nice to see Orisa being brought out. It's actually one of my favorite heroes, but they are going to actually just swap that off for the Lucio. on Alox. Pez opting to go for that Tracer. I'm imagining Lewis is going to stick on this Widow for the first, 20, 30, maybe 40 seconds. Try and get some picks off. Maybe try and find the Ana or the Tracer, maybe Genji, on those original picks. There we go. The shots raining down from above, but we'll see how they're able to actually get those picks off, do that damage where it needs to be. But yeah, there we go. The swap onto Genji.
Yeah, so he went for one shot with the Widowmaker, wasn't able to connect with the Genji, and just overall just decided to go straight over for the swap. Clips is going to take out Andrew though already, so that's the Tracer going down, and Mazel's straight in the face. That Yana going straight down, targeting this Genji, and already 5 people on the point. The contestation is in effect.
They are leaving all their hopes in Samer here. The mech does get destroyed, left alone. A mini Diva, and Pez makes short work of that. I think they're probably going to have to give over the first point here. Looks like maybe they're a little bit rusty after playing against some opponents not as strong as the Adopted Penguins.
Yes, I think they definitely underestimated the side of Adopted Penguins, and they're going to be pushing all the way forward. Pez is going to be still on the Tracer. That he's going to have Tracer Bomb already on display right now, as Sky is going to take out Takumi. Going for the Tracer Bomb, not going to be able to connect though right now, as the payload is going to be making its way forward. Sky picking up another kill. That's going to be Andrew going down. And Pez just being annoying in the back lines, just trying to get his ultimates, as the combination with his teams and with Eclipse sitting in the back doing some great support in the back lines.
Look at how Sky is zoning off the entire team. One player sat on the cart, just bringing it around. I think that's the Lucio over there, just Alox having a little bit of a chill. Mazel picks up Samer in the back line, who has now swapped onto that Ana. But there we go, some kills actually starting to come through for the side of Nexus Gaming as they start to push in. So as I said, they get that first point. I think they're going to be able to get to the second point. We'll see how Nexus Gaming are able to continue to play into this.
And just look at the ultimates available for both sides. Adopted Penguins already with 4 ultimates ready to go. It's going to be like morally frustrating in the side of Nexus, like having that first game potentially as a warm-up, but Sky is going to go for the ultimate. Ultimate's going back and forth as Dragon Blade is going to come into the effect. However, Lewis is going to get absolutely shut down by Andro, with Jamie on Winston going bananas right now, trying to take out this Ana in the backlines. But no, Eclipse is going to put him to sleep, as Takumi is going to be taking out Sky.
There we go, a nice hold coming out from Nexus Gaming. And on the back line, meanwhile, Alox does manage to pick up Jamie, but it's straight over for Pez. Now they need to remount their aggression here. What they did very, very well there was keep their momentum going from that first point capture, from the stance that they had, able to drive them all the way back, and look how far they've got the payload. They have got a lot of ground already. Nano boost, Tactical Visor comes out, and it's on the hold now.
Tactical Visor coming into effect. However, Lucio's going to be dropping the ultimate, as well as Pez is going to be tackling Ana in the backlines. Going to be seeing if he can get Tesma. Tesma has decided to switch up this Diva as well. High Noon is going to come into effect. Not going to be able to take out anyone, as Lewis is going to pick up one. But Mazel's taking out one and picking up another kill, doing a great work on this Diva as the self-destruct sequence is in effect. And looks like once again, John, the hold is going to be in effect.
They've done very, very well here. I think, do you know what I think's changed here? Is Samer on that Ana. As soon as they swapped it over, they did actually start to pick up their feet. But we do have a pause. Got a bit of a DC on Andro on the side of Nexus Gaming there. But yeah, I think the key thing that changed was Samer off that Diva and onto that Ana, able to just chunk out the healing left, right, and center. Arathin taking that Diva spot. So we'll see if they can keep going at it. But something I want to highlight is Eclipse on that Ana on the side of Adopted Penguins has been so on point with his healing blocking and his grenades that it's really meant that people like Andro and and Tak really haven't been able to get that support that they really need from their backline support, from that Lucio, and been shutting them out quite effectively there. We also, in that last fight, we saw Mazel cancel the McCree High Noon as well, which was pretty important. That Winston shield was down, which he was waiting for to time out, but Mazel got the drop on him. It was just about to go down as well, so very nice timing coming out from them. So Adopted Penguins hammering on the door of this second point.
Yeah, of course, it was a fantastic start for Adopted Penguins. They flooded the first... almost essentially flooded the first point. I don't think Nexus were underestimating how quick or how much damage was going to come out of the effect of Penguins, and they just effectively just had to give the first point up, and in doing so, gave Penguins almost like almost about a 5-minute timescale just to get to the second point, which they almost did, John, straight away, but Nexus woke up a bit and got moving, and now we're going to see what happens with both teams having some ultimates available into it and going to be very close to building these ults. But the defensive side of Nexus, they're going to have a bit of advantage, especially where that payload is positioned right now, John.
I would argue that Nexus really do have the tempo on getting back from spawn here. They have got the mobility to get there as well with Mike Rep on that Lucio, able to taxi people over, ferry them onto the point. Jamie with that mobility, Arathen as well, the sprint coming out from TAC. And we were seeing McCree probably put him back onto either a Tracer or a Genji to try and go for those nano blades well, other than that, they'd have to put the nano on Jamie or TAC. So I imagine we'd see the Genji to get the nano blade synergy coming out. Single tank being opted for adopted Penguins, and it's working out very well for them. Sky has been brilliant at zoning on the back, but they do at this point have the worst tempo on trying to get to the to the point. I think we're still just waiting on the reconnect to come through before we get back underway.
Yeah, so I think in the meantime, we're gonna quickly throw it to an ad break, because we a few technical issues going in the side of Nexus Gaming. So we're gonna return in a few minutes time, and hopefully this ad break will have this all sorted out. So we're gonna play a quick ad, and then we'll be back soon. Welcome back, everyone, to the Road to EGX Qualifier number 5, proudly sponsored by Omen by HP. Got John Allen with me. It's game number 1. It's Kings Row between this best of 5 between Nexus Gaming and Adopted Penguins. We are currently in a pause right now until 4:25. The issue is one of the players from the Nexus Gaming team unfortunately has lost full internet or electricity in his building, so they're trying to find a sub. If not, they have to play 5v6 or they'll have to forfeit game 1. John, let's talk about the first point or the beginning of the game. It was, of course, great start for Penguins. They had that full control, and Nexus was just not really prepared for it.
No, not at all. I think they came off a little bit rusty from their first match, where they were very, very dominant. Hadn't got really anything to worry about from that. And I think that showed because they actually put Samer on an off role. They put him onto Diva tank, which, as we know, Samer is that support main. Oh, apparently Power is back. There we go. That's pretty good. So hopefully we'll be able to get him back in soon, maybe for the full 6v6. Well, the normal roster. But yeah, Samer now on the Ana. I highlighted it before and talked about it a little bit. Able to just do enough healing, keep his team nice and healthy, try and combat those Genjis, those Tracers with those sleep darts, which are so crucial, especially against something like a Nano Blade. If he jumps in, goes for the slide, pulls out his sword, as soon as it's out, you sleep dart him, that's it. He's useless. If he's nanoed, that's it. He's useless. And you've just wasted 1 or maybe 2 ults if you can land that crucial sleep dart. Same with Eclipse, not so important though on attack to counter those aggressive plays. Samer will be looking to stop them on those tracks because obviously they are in defense. It makes it that little bit more important here. So hopefully he's going to be jumping straight back in as soon as possible. I think we do have to get started at 4:25. So they will be playing 5v6 until the reconnect can happen. We'll see what becomes of that one.
Yes, of course, John. And of course, it's a best of 5. So, and our 5 maps are Kings Row, Hanamura, Legion Tower, Hollywood, and Paul. If we go to our 5th and final map, one key point for me, John, for especially this first map, is they took Penguins to the momentum swing early game. They took the momentum swing and they got the first point and they got the payload all the way right outside the second map point, and they burned for ultimates. But yeah, as we were talking about, Tesma switched to the Ana, had a couple of different changes in the squads, and they just overall burn the ultimates is probably the best way to say it. And we're about to go live back into this game. It is now 4:25, so the other player will be coming back into this game hopefully very shortly. Tesma is agreeing to play as 5, so the game is going to be going live once again. But it does look like it's in favor for the side of Nexus. They were pushing the team of Penguins back into players. We're going back into this right now.
Yeah, so they did lose one of their DPS players. Now, as damaging as that sounds, probably one of the best players to lose in this situation. You can have a lot of consistent damage with that soldier coming down. So we'll see if they're able to hold it. 1-for-1 going across. Pez takes out Samer on the back line, and this could open up the doors here as Jamie able to frag it back onto Lewis, but Sky and Tak both trading 1-for-1 yet again. Now, the cart has not moved a smidge. Jamie drops that barrier on top of him as the heal block comes through. The sleep as well, and it looks like Penguins are going to be a little bit more aggressive here. Maybe taking the tempo and getting that point.
Yes, taking some of the tempo indeed, but Afron's going to pick up 1, but Lewis is going to be there straight away for the trade. Tracer Bomb is going to come in effect as Mazals is going to pick up a double kill. That's going to be Tesma and Mike coming in. And of course, with that going down, they're going to be able to capture the point. And they're going to get point number 2, as we're going to be making our way to the 3rd and final point with Pez sitting in the back line. Is going to see if he can catch anyone off guard.
Look at the ultimates on the side of Nexus Gaming right now. All 5 are alive and kicking. Only 2 on the side of Adopted Penguins. Jamie able to take down Lewis early. Tactical Visor gets popped and the Nano on top of it. That is Winston taken down as well, so no shields for any of the team. 1 more kill goes through, chasing it on, seeing what else they can get. Is it going to be any more? No, they back off. but they are sent running with the tail between their legs. 2 ultimates used on that repulsion, and it is going to be Adopted Penguins trying to come back in.
Yeah, so a couple like change on this time. Pez has decided to go from D.Va, take it from the Tracer himself. So they're going to go for a bit more tank, come into it. Nano Blade is going to come in though with the Nano Boost, with Lewis trying to get someone in the back line. But Tesma, beautiful darts, putting Lewis straight to sleep. That's going to be the comp gone. And that's 3 players gone. Self-destructed from Arafin, taking out a double kill as well as Jamie is going to be cleaning up the kills. Sky is going to decide to jump off this map and reset the team for Penguins.
Yeah, Pez still not dead actually, and that's a nice little bit of a stagger as they start to push off. If they can get a pick here, then they might be able to just keep this stagger going very nicely. But they are just going to regroup. Still 5 players. They don't want to overextend. They don't want to lose anyone because then they will be at a massive disadvantage. Ultimate charge coming up pretty quickly there for TAC as they duel over the high ground with D.Va and Winston.
Yeah, so damage going back and forth now as Lucio is going to be bopping the boost. Nothing coming out of it though so far, with Pez just trying to do some damage in that back line. No one at this point is going to be contested. Jamie is going to be put to sleep though right now as he's going to be jumping right into the middle. His ultimate was used as well as popped, but Takumi going to be popping the ultimate. It's going to be taking out Lewis, going to be taking out 1 kill, but D.Va on support doing some great work, John. And it's a 1-for-1 trade seeming, but the payload is making its way towards the point, making it potentially 3 for the side of Penguins.
They do manage to pick up the kill on the back line. Sky goes down. Winston trying his best to zone, but it's not going to go well. There's the self-destruct sequence coming through. Doesn't find anyone. Ariston trades it onto Mazel, and they are just going to keep their pushing going through. And 5 players are all they need as Nexus Gaming holds strong yet again on this 3rd point.
Yes, and the payload isn't going to favour Penguins at all now. It's much more in the favoured side of Nexus. They're going to have 2 or 3 more opportunities though on the side of Penguins. You've got a couple of ultimates. Eclipse is still going to have that ultimate, that nano boost available at all times. Seeing if he's going to pop it at any point. But Sky is going to take out Meg. That's going to be your res gone. Lewis is going to take out Tesma as couple kills is going down. Lewis going to pick up a double kill. Jamie's going to train that out though for 1 kill. Nano boosted Winston though in effect, but Sky is going to be there. Sky going to pick up a double kill, and it's just the Winston remaining with Jamie, and he's going to get completely chased out, and this is not looking good in the side of Nexus.
They absolutely need to pull out all the stops. The Tracer, the Lucio, Tactical Visor gets popped, but D.Va's got the defense matrix. Lewis finds 2. Sky on the back line as well. Nano boosted. Winston causing devastating damage as he picks up a second onto the Lucio, and Nexus Gaming are completely have it all falling around the ears. The reconnect comes through. Let's see if they can make it work for them. Sky though taking the kill off onto Tracer, finding the mech and the D.Va as well to follow it up. Samer now on the Reaper finds the kill. Lewis and Pez 1H as well. They continue their attacking progression. Let's see, are they going to be able to keep it going? Sky finds yet another. He's been absolutely monstrous here. Dragon Blade comes through. Lewis finds 1. Sky gets the bot down onto Andro, and they push it on. It looks like they're going to be able to take this one home. Last couple of feet, but no, there's Arathin and Winston just not giving up the ghost. It's absolutely just going back and forth here. Mazel pops Tactical Visor, finds 2, and the mech goes down as well. 1 player on the back line, but Sky isn't done just yet. He's still going for that damage. The May is being held on this defense, able to find the Lucio, and now it is completely just a massive cluster of people dying, going back and forth, not able to really do anything fully. The point is so close to getting taken, and it's overtime. The defense from this May able to freeze up the Genji, and they hold against all the odds. 6 players end out the round, 2 points, and now they have a chance to take it home here.
That was a fantastic hold. Unbelievable there by Nexus. Hold it right at the end. They were flooding it back and forth. They went with a couple of different changes. They went for the May, they went for the Stalls, they went for the Reaper. They're just trying to keep the payload alive, and they eventually did. They just got a favor of the ultimates coming into the favor of them, and just like that, that could be a massive boost of morale for the side of Nexus, as they're going to have potentially 3. They could get quite easily 3 points now, and they don't even have to capture to the end.
Yeah, it's a brilliant situation for them to be in. They have now got the ability to regroup and come back in. Andro is back online. And they did, well, they put it to good use, able to hold, and, well, congratulations to that, because that is a pretty dire situation to be able to come back from. And they did it beautifully. So, see what they opt for. I don't think they're going to stick on both Hanzo and Widowmaker, but I think we will see this Zarya stick on, potentially for Samer swapping out to that Anna, maybe after the first couple of shots, trying to get that first pick off onto one of the players and go for a fast take. I think we're going to see Tak swapping over to either that Soldier or that Genji, maybe a Pharah.
Yeah, I would like to see a Pharah coming in. I think Tesma's going to do the same tactic as well as what Penguins did last time. They're going to go for that quick initial shot, see if they can find anyone, probably before swapping onto something different. This could be very interesting to see how it begins at the start. I think there's going to be a little bit of doubt coming in the side of Penguins after not being able to. They had the full advantage coming into that final fight, and they just couldn't finish it off, essentially, John. But we're going to be going straight into the next half. We're going to be jumping on board with Nexus Gaming. They're going to be making their way forward. They're probably going to see if they're going to do what you said, John, and push this early point on Hotel.
Yeah, they aren't able to land any early headshots there. Samer just taking a change off onto that Zenyatta, actually, as they try and poke their heads in, try and get something down, and it is going to go over to Microrep as Sky goes down. Now the lead comes through onto the point as they lead the charge. The trade comes back, though. Lewis takes down the Lucio. Sleep goes on to the Zai on the point. Still not awake. There we go. Eclipse able to find a kill, though. And they are just going to continue to hold on this point as Mazel cleans up 2 kills.
Yeah, Mazel picking up 2 kills. Pez has almost built up the charge about 80% right now, as Takumi is going to stick on his Hanzo as well, taking out Mazel. So very interesting to see. They decide to keep the Hanzo but drop the Widowmaker, but kills are going to be traded back and forth right now, with Apox going to pick out Tesma as well, but looks like it's in favor of a side, a Nexus, as they're going to try and push this point and try and just establish early control.
The pacing is very much going to be on how they opt to aggress onto this point. Sky is down, so they don't have that front line tank. And there comes the sound barrier. The nano boost as well gets dropped down onto the Zarya. The Graviton surge comes through also, and there's Lewis finding 2. And that is a huge hold coming out from the Penguin squad.
Yes, great use by Pez as well, using that Graviton surge. He was already on 80+% on his just a general build up of his beam. Then a Graviton surge came into it, got 3 players trapped in there, got rid of the Tracer and other little characters as well. So it's effectively like squashy characters is probably the best way to describe it, John. But Lewis is going to be sitting in the back line, going to be a pop-in Tracer bomb, not going to be able to connect with anyone right now, but the ultimates are going to favour the side of Nexus, as they were going to be able to engage the next fight, which is about to happen right now. Absolutely.
Watch this combo between the Zarya and the Hanzo. There's Tranquility that comes through. There we go. And there comes the Dragons. 2 people caught up in that, and they all go down. Probably not necessarily to use the Hanzo there. They could have just DPS'd it out, but they're nonetheless going to be able to take this first point here, as they do just sit themselves. 4 players, take out the last one on Lewis, and there we go. First point going over to Nexus Gaming. Saying they're just going to tap that one.
Such a classic combo as well, the Hanzo and the Zarya. Very useful, very common. And it's very safe as well, probably the best way to describe it, John. You don't have to be right in their faces to pop the Graviton Surge, or nor even the Hanzo's ultimate as well. But Jamie is going to pick up a 1 kill as well, as Eclipse is going to be trading them out with Mazel, going to take in 1 more with him as well. That's going to be Tesma down, so that's going to be 1 heals going down, with Lewis taking out Amphron in the back. But the payload is slowly making its way through to the second point, but Lewis is going to be taking out 2 kills, and in effect Nexus are going to be stuck under this bridge.
Yeah, something that is kind of interesting that they haven't done, that was actually done against them and that I mentioned, was that momentum continuation. They didn't actually push up quite as far, and they weren't able to hold around that corner, and that has resulted in them being kind of stuck under this bridge. They've only just been able to get out of it, but there's the Graviton Surge as they go aggressive on the defense. 3 players caught up on it. Sky finds 2 of them. Arathin soon to follow, but no, he is able to back off. Jamie finds 1 to trade, but the defense is very strong there. Not too sure about the use of Graviton Surge, though, not against an aggressive push from the Nexus Gaming squad.
Yeah, I think maybe it was popped maybe too early, or in maybe an unnecessary point. 3 players did go down though, so it was in effect a worthy trade. Jamie's going to be put to sleep with the sleep dart, of course, but trades are just going to back and forth. Eclipse is going to go down to the side of Nexus, and there we go. 3 kills coming in favour of Nexus. making that 44 as they're going to be chasing these kills and forcing the side of Penguin all the way back into their own spawn.
That's exactly what I was talking about. They've now got that position at the top of the road just before they round that corner onto the point into the foundry. It's exactly where you need to be on this. You need to have one, maybe two people on the cart maximum, just pushing it through there. Sky jumping in aggressively on there. I don't think that's going to end well for him as he just gets taken straight down. They're trying to delay it, but don't think that was the right choice. Jamie takes the high ground. Graviton Surge comes through. Nanoblade, sorry, just the Dragon Blade, as they just get completely melted away from their second point.
Yes, I think it was a bad call for Sky to jump into there. It got instantly discorded, and it was just completely melted, not really doing any damage to the side of Nexus, as Nexus are going to be pushing them very aggressively into almost the base of Penguins, with the kills going back and forth. Sky's going to get assisted with the Zarya, but once again, kills are going to go in favor of Nexus. Nano Boosted is going to come into effect, but that's going to be Mazzles on the Soldier, but only going to be able to pick up one. But Howard, that's a crucial kill, taking out Mike, as that's going to be one kill, with Sky picking up Tesma. That's going to be both supports already going down, and this is almost going to force Nexus to be retreating back.
Sleep goes across onto Jamie, so he is taken pretty much out of the fight, has to leap away. I wasn't too sure about how Sky's jump would go in there. We saw him be way too aggressive before, and it really, well, it ended badly, as we saw. They lost the second point for it, but it did go well there. He had the ultimate to follow it up. He goes in for it yet again.
Yeah, he goes in for it yet again, trying to maybe capture one or two players off guard. Graviton Surge is going to come in, but Transcendence is going to be on support. So this is effect going to be just a waste for that Graviton Surge. Like, it did pop the Tranquility, but I think inside of the side of Nexus is going to support more. Jamie's going to take out Eclipse as he's going to be jumping in, trying to get just a couple more kills, as a Graviton Surge is now going to come in at the side, as 3 kills are going to go in favor of Nexus. They're going to be making their way to the point, and look how close it is, just 4 meters shy. You've only got Pez remaining on the payload. He's going to go down, and I think that's going to be the first round for Nexus, as they're going to take map number 1.
Yeah. I was a little bit skeptical, obviously, with that DC, the 5v6, not the best scenario for them to find themselves in, but they come through the other side of it nonetheless, and what a comeback that was. Very, very strong. Nexus Gaming take this first game of the best of 5, so we do still have at least 2 more. Next map, going to be Hanamura. Player of the game going over to attack on the Genji.
Yeah, very interesting to see, like, great like use from both teams, especially on the Graviton Surge, like showing how useful Zarya is in the current meta. And in effect, it ended the game. Graviton Surge came into effect. 3 kills went straight into the favor of Nexus. They got the Tracer down. Genji got a double kill as well. And as you can see, I was getting 40 kills on Zarya, especially as a tank. That's very impressive.
Interesting, as he's one of the lower rated players on their team. I had hypothesized that maybe he was playing on a Smurf account, potentially. I believe he's had very, very few games. He's playing at around 3.5k Elo. Oh, SR, sorry, not Elo. Wrong game.
Wrong game.
3.5k. He's only had about 4. His most played is on Winston and Genji with 4 wins each, which means he has very, very few games this season on this account. So it might be that he's playing on an ult. So we'll see if... and he seems to be performing a lot better than those sort of stats would dictate. His season high, though, on this account has been all the way up at 4.4. So maybe he's just had a bit of a rough time with it. Dropping over 1,000 is not where you want to find yourself in that sort of solo queue grind. But he seems to be slotting in very, very nicely with Nexus Gaming.
Yeah, slotting in very well. So Nexus Gaming can take in a very convincing 1-0 over Penguins. Dr. Penguins did have a great start. They had a great start to the game, but overall, that push at the end, like that hold for Nexus in their defensive end, they had the Mei, they had the Reaper. They're just constantly delaying that point, and in the end, overall, John, it just affected them too much, like to the point where that maybe they would have got a chance to get back on the payload if it was a 3 points.
So what happened there was Nexus were able to get just enough kills over and over again that they were just trading back and forth, and it meant that they staggered that aggression. And because they have the massive advantage when it comes to the respawns, because they're so close to it when it gets to that late stage of the push, they just weren't able to put the same number of people onto the cart as Nexus Gaming were, and they lost out for it. Playing those champions, those heroes like Mei and well, all those mobility-based champions like Winston and D.Va, able to just get straight back onto the cart as well from spawn and just hold and delay and stall it out. That's how they won it. Okay,
so let's move on to the second map. This is going to be Hanamura. It's your 2 capture point. It's very difficult, I'd say, to capture the first point in Hanamura. It's probably one of the most difficult capture points in the whole game. It favors the defensive side very well. You've only really got 2 decent ways to get into the point. Like, you've only got the bridge, or the little like gateway or bridge, or the upper ledge there. But what do you see coming out of this? Would you like to see a Pharah, Genji still playing on support, or
on the attack?
Yeah, on the attacking side.
So on the attack, I think, well, I'm really happy to see that same as on this Sombra. I think that's pretty much exactly the way you want to be pushing through this. You just negate that defense matrix from D.Va, negate all that sort of healing from the grenade on Ana. If you manage to get those big hacks off, and it just completely opens it up very, very nicely. Obviously, Tracer countered very hard by that massive widespread hack. Can't dash around, very low health. You're pretty much sitting bait there. Samer swapping over to the Bastion, but I hope he goes back to that Sombra. Only the 1 support though on Minecraft, and they do opt to keep it on board.
Yeah, so here we go. It's going to be attacking side. It's going to be a Nexus Gaming, and they're going to be attacking first. See, straight through the bridge, straight through the gate. It looks like the side of Penguins is just going to let them come forward and just use, once again, just have Lewis diving on the Winston, just being able to try and get out of these fights.
Yeah, I mean, the hold went pretty well for them. What they did was waited back. Lewis jumped in, followed in by the D.Va very nicely. They weren't actually able to get any picks, but they did compress them into that side hut. Now they're just working, getting them back through the gate, and it seems to be going in their favor.
Interesting choice on the Sombra as well, with Tesma already getting the ultimate available, so the MP is already going to be on availability for the side, but Sky's going to pick it. As I was saying, the EMP is going to come straight into effect, so that's going to have abilities down. Pez is going to, however, trade it out with Tesma going to be going down. Nano Boost is going to be coming into effect, but no, not going to be able to do anything with it right now, as it looks like Penguins are going to hold this point, as it's going to force Nexus straight back.
Yeah, now same as swapping off that Sombra, obviously didn't work out for them. Onto that Zenyatta he goes, that we saw in that last map, and very strong came through. Interesting, the swap off Sombra. I would imagine that it would be quite nice to put it on either Tak or Andro instead, and have that dual support still sat there. But Samer seems to be the only one that's confident of playing it, so they are going to opt to go for the Zenyatta instead, and the aggression comes through, flying up into the left. Sky takes the high ground as they push a little bit further back. Now the Primal Rage actually coming out in the back line.
Yeah, Jamie popping the Primal Rage, almost going down, having 0 health remaining, so Lewis is going to take out Takumi as well, so that's going to be 2 players already down in the side of Nexus. Mazel's going to be trading out, and as the Lucio is going to do the boost, and it's great support from the Ana as well. 3 players are going to have to be forced, almost essentially forced back, as Mike is going to have to get out of there with Lucio, and they're not going to stop it. They're going to be chasing his kills. Pez is going to be taking out Tesma again, as Primal Rage is now going to be popped by Jamie, but he's not going to have any targets really to go with. He's just swinging and swinging, but no one is available to him right now.
There's a couple of ults still left in the bag for Nexus Gaming, but as they keep pushing, Jamie finds the kill onto Mazel. There's self-destruct sequence from Sky. See if he can find anything. No, it's not going to go over. Pez gets the pulse bomb onto Minecraft, but there we go. They are starting to gain a little bit of ground. Try their best to get onto these points. 3 ultimates just about to come in now. 4 as Andro picks up the charge, and there we go. The kills starting to come through very, very nicely. Samer finishes off Pez, and the capture starts to progress. 5 players on the point. I don't think they're going to want to try and hold this one.
No, it's not worth it at all for the side of Adopted Penguins. So they're going to capture the point with just over a minute, under a minute remaining. As Takumi is going to try and keep this momentum going. They're going to be but he's going to get some information for it seems. And Nexus now know that Penguins are going to be sitting high ground on this left-hand side ledge. Going to essentially try and force the side of Nexus just to push onto the point before getting dived on from the high ground. But Takumi's going to come in. Nanabray's going to come into it. But double kill are coming into effect. that's going to be 3 players coming in as Jamie's going to pick up another one as well. And John, just like that, the momentum in full control for the side of Nexus.
As you said, that first point wasn't so easy. One of the harder points in the game to try and take, but they managed to do that. And now the second point seems to be falling, but Mazel chimes in with a double kill. They're starting to get back onto the point as well, but it's not going to be quite enough. Pez goes down, or teleports back anyway, goes down eventually. And the capture goes through. Nexus Gaming take it 2-0 relatively quickly. Can't remember exactly what the time was, but the time remaining, yeah, over 4 minutes. So that's pretty convincing. That second point going over a lot stronger. So we'll see. Do you reckon Penguins, a similar performance, or our Nexus Gaming is just going to be able to shut them out at the gates? Just say, no, thank you. We do not buy or sell at this gate. Please take your wares elsewhere.
Now, if we go back to map number 1, Kings Row, Penguins pushed the point very quickly. It was a very quick capture point for them. Now, the side of Nexus, they're going to have more. They're going to have more knowledge of what they're going to play now. But I do think Penguins could push this point real quickly. I think they could do it really well. I think but you're going to definitely have to look at like Pez, like you're going to have to look at Pez. You're going to have to look at Lewis on these key characters such as Winston and Tracer. See if they can get the early picks. I think once they get 2 or 3 players down, they need to get Tesma and Microrep straight out of these fights. Otherwise, it's going to be such a struggle for the side of Adopted Penguins, and they could potentially then go down 2-0, which is not what you want to go down, especially in a single elimination best of 5.
Stick together.
No, certainly not. 2-0. You find yourself on the edge. You have to win every map from there on out. You have no leeway whatsoever. Nothing but the looming threat of going out of this tournament, because of course it is single elimination. This best of 5 dictates who will be progressing on to the finals to fight against the winner of, I believe it's TBH, Team Bounty Hunters versus the Warwick Angels, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, the Warwick Angels won their match conventionally 2-0 in the off-stream quarterfinals, so they're going to be making their way. What do you think to some of these choices coming into place? You got the Orisa coming in, and you got Torb being showcased for the first time today.
I really like Orisa. I think especially with that Torb, you can just sit there and protect that turret all day with no repercussions, really. A lot of damage coming out and a lot of repositioning strength as well, as Takumi is able to pick up the first kill on Lewis on the defense, and they are just going to keep pounding away, and that consistent damage from the Gatling gun on the arm of Orisa is going to be able to just do a lot of work there. Pez opting for that Sombra, so again, that sort of setup that we saw last round, trying to come out for them. See how it goes. The Torbjorn turret gets dropped down on the point, so they are going to have to contend with that.
Yeah, and I like the idea of what Penguins were doing there. You had Mazel sitting on the Tracer, just waiting for his teammates on support for the heals. Pez... Ooh, Tesma is going to get shut down, though, by the grenade from Tesma. And as we were saying, I think like Nexus have been forced back a little bit, like almost essentially into their own capture point. Oh, beautiful grenade getting thrown. That's going to be 8 blocks going down. So that's going to essentially force the side of Penguins. You need your Lucio, especially on point, to initiate the first push.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't got that full ult charge yet. We do have a pause. Not too sure who that came from. It did come from the Penguins. So yeah, we do have a little bit of a pause. I think they're just going to go for a reconnect. Clips has left the game, trying to get someone else in. But yeah, Torbjorn, interesting pickup here. Obviously a strat that they practiced. The Orisa combo with that Torb, very, very strong, especially on a point like this where you've got such a massive choke pressure coming out. And honestly, I'm not too sure that they have the situation to deal with it. Obviously, Mazel going to be looking to try and get the flanks off, try and get that pulse bomb onto that location. But it's so difficult to get any consistent damage onto that turret with the Orisa just able to completely negate it by just popping up their shields whenever they start to get low in front of the turret. And there's nothing really you can do about that other than try and go for those flanks, which, as I said, is what Mazel's looking for.
Yeah, I am pretty surprised by the Orisa pick, but I do love the combination with the Torb. Like, you've got the protection of the turret, as we were you just talking about there. I like the idea that what Penguins are doing again. So they're not really copying, but going for the EMP, trying to get that EMP so it's going to shut down any ultimates available to the side of Nexus. But this is it's time. It's the time is the biggest aspect of this. I think they have to use the EMP in the next fight. If it doesn't work out for them, then they need to do that quick switch like they did last time, like Tesma did. Jumped off the Sombra and went to the Diva. So I think maybe something a little change will have to come into effect if if the side of Penguins do not win this next fight.
They'll need to. Nice little plug there. It was actually a game freeze coming out from the side of one of the players, and as suggested by Blossy, if you don't want your games to freeze, guys, make sure you pick up the Omen by HP gear, because they have some top of the line things. Won't freeze on you unless you mistreat it, which I would advise against. But yeah, they do have some good kit, and yeah, check it out on wherever the links are. I'm sure they're somewhere around. They're never too far.
So if you go to road, if we get our lovely chat going to be talking about the road to EGX, of course. So if you go to road to .egx.net, you can find all the information on our website. You can find out what's going on with the tournament, catch up with previous winners, including tech names. So we have an interview with them. We have an interview with Elysium Gaming, and of course, all the details you need for EGX and the main event at September. But gaming does not have to be like this, according to the Twitch chat. But Eclipse is back in the game. We're unpausing and we're going live. Let's go back into this, John. 2 minutes 35 remaining.
Yeah, so they're going to be regrouping for this attack. See what they're able to go for. Pez obviously just keeping that health box just hacked up so that they can get that regen going off. They opt to go up and to the left, get that high ground. They are going to start to push on now. Pez able to get the EMP onto a couple of people, but it's not going to matter too much. Mazel is, though, as he is able to get up that turret and a kill as well. Eclipse finding one, but they are starting to push back onto the point. The Orisa has yet to go down. It's going to be Sky, and they just clean it up. That push, the Sombra was not able to make what they wanted to happen.
So Tak got got nano boosted, and not one player from Penguins picked him up, and he was just sitting in the back line, just constantly doing damage to him. And especially with a nano boosted Reaper, it's almost like an insta death for you if you're up close.
Well, let's see if they can push onto the point now. They do get the early pick onto Takumi. Sky takes down the turret as well, so they do have a little bit of strength, but there's the sound barrier on the defense. The self-destruct sequence gets activated for both, and there we go. The pickup onto the Torbjorn and the turret as well means that Eclipse is ready and waiting to go in. Lewis does go down. Sky able to stop that Orisa ultimate button, but the defense holds strong yet again, and they're just able to just keep going, and they aren't seeming to have a weakness here on this first point.
Orisa's supercharger won them that fight. They had 4 to 5 players on that supercharger, so that's essentially like a mini nano boost for most people in this game. And then you had the self-destruct coming in, so 2 players did go down to the side of Nexus, but unfortunately just caught out in the end. Like the supercharger just doing too much damage, and they didn't focus on it too much.
No, well, there we go. The Orisa displacement coming out, and Lewis gets heal blocked. The Orisa just chunking out the damage. Lewis taken very low, but they do manage to find themselves on the point. There is the Transcendence as well, as it is just going to be trying to go for this attack. Mazel finds the Orisa pick off, so that is a lot of strength taken down, but there's the self-destruct sequence. Aplox doesn't stand a chance as he goes down. The nano boost onto the Reaper, coming out, trying to find anything he can, but Takumi gets taken down, and they're starting to gain a little bit of a foothold here on the first point. Just trying to get everything they can. Samer goes down on this Anna, and there's the Winston jumping in, closing it out, and Mazel comes up big on the end there as they find that second point with 5 seconds to spare. That first point, sorry.
5 seconds to spare, but now, of course, they're going to get 4 minutes on the time, but even if they do capture it, then they are going to be on the attacking side again. So the time does favour the side of Nexus, but they're going to be trying to hold this and trying to get a convincing map number 2. So they're going to be pushing the right-hand side on here. You're going to have High Noon in the effect of Pairs available to him as well. But the ultimates are favouring Adopted Penguins, John, as the next fight is kicking off.
They are opting to go for this high ground strat. Very, very contested position. Winston jumping along the side. Sound barrier comes through, but Andro finds the first pick. Eclipse goes down, finds the second with the dash. Slicing is going to be his order of the day, as he finds 2 kills. Mick Rep as well, able to just back them off on the defense. Jamie gets Mazel on the retreat, and now they're just going to see them off as Andro finds yet another onto Sky.
Yeah, so they're gonna force the side of Penguins all to respawn together. So that was at least another 15 to 20 seconds minimum time just to even group up together. I like what they did as well. They left the D.Va when the D.Va came out in the mech. They decided just to leave him as the last target. So in fact, it's gonna like the D.Va really can't do too much damage unless supported with a team. But Andro are going to be sitting on point. But here we go. The point is going to get completely flooded in. Kills going back and forth. Self-destruct sequence is going to be in effect. Lewis is going to be trying to block up the players from the side of Nexus, trying to get to the point as he's going to pop his ultimate, just effectively trapping his teammates in the side. But kills are not going in the favor of Penguins as Jamie is going to be able to take him out.
A complete shut up there from Jamie. Don't know if you noticed, but on the Deadeye on the back actually got popped. And Jamie just flew straight at him. He knew exactly what he needed to do. Just took him down absolutely perfectly. No kills going over for Deadeye, and he was pretty much a goner from that point. So they lost the strength there, and they weren't able to really get any push going off that. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Pez swapping off this McCree at some point.
Yeah, I don't think McCree's going to suit them on this, especially this second load. Beautiful by Takumi. No, not going to be able to connect with anyone though. He did have the flank available to him as Mazzles is going to take out one, but Dragonblade is going to come in as Andro is going to pick up a double kill. That's going to be Apox and Pez going down in the favor of Nexus Gaming. Self-destruct sequence is going to be popped, but not going to be able to connect with anyone. A Sky is going to be your last man alone on the point right now, but it's going to be not straight down. And once again, the side of Nexus are going to be able to hold.
Very, very nice coming out from them as they just see off the remaining attackers, and the sleep dot kill followed by the nade kill from Samer. Nice little bit of a highlight there coming out from him, but yeah, they do see them off on the back, stagger them just a little bit. All the respawns come through as he finds yet another kill. 3 kills now on Samer, just showing us what a strong player he is. I don't know if we'd mentioned before, but he is actually one of the players on the Romanian World Cup team. So he is going to be super strong. And I did say before, rank 208 on the Korean servers.
Yeah, it's very powerful. And being such a good support on the Ana right now, it just like targeting little people like Pez or targeting Mazzle, just doing just enough damage. Lovely grenade coming out of him, as well as Andro and Mike are going to pick up a 2 kills on the side of favor of Nexus once again. And with 35 seconds remaining, it's going to be all or bust in the side of Adopted Penguins.
And they're just falling over and over again. They have 1 push left at this point. They need to get on the point, and they need to do it now. The ult's not in their favor either, and they need to start going for it, but they just haven't. They haven't got the foothold yet. 15 seconds left. They need to do something, and the self-destruct sequence gets taken out from Jamie as Pez, followed up by Sky, goes up to the high ground, but Eclipse is taken down, as well as Aplox. Both supports down, no healing for them. There's Deadeye, finds nothing. Sound Barrier comes through, and Arithian is just shredding straight through the Penguins. They are going for a little bit of a swim. They get dunked pretty much straight through. High Noon coming out again, but there is no kills really at all. Pez finds 1, but they just get completely wiped.
Picking 4 kills up in that final fight, as you were saying, taking out both supports in the start, then taking out Pairs and Apox in the final kills. But 2-0 to the favor of Nexus Gaming. Very interesting to see how Adopted Penguins are going to fight back, but the next map is going to be Legion Tower, so there is a potential there for you, John, for a potential small comeback. But right now, Nexus are looking very strong.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we know they're a good team. We know that they play very well. So this is where he took out both of those supports and then proceeded to get the pickup on the third. High Known at the back, you heard it go off there. Didn't really find anything, and yeah, incredible performance coming out from all of them. They really worked together. Obviously, we saw that weird comp coming out at the start with the Torbjorn and the Orisa. Maybe it was just the fact that they were trying something new, but they did lose that point. So they are going to be looking to close it out with a clean sweep yet again here on Lijiang Tower. So we'll be getting into that pretty shortly. And I'm expecting that we might see Samer swapping off that support role and onto that Zarya that we did see on Lijiang Tower before.
Yeah, so I think for me right now, it's just look at the comp styles. I think for Nexus Gaming, Tesman's got that more experience in, like, especially playing in the World Cup. That's one of the biggest events in Overwatch currently. But he's got that maybe leadership role, like especially playing on the side of Anna. He can make the calls or maybe the adaptations. I did love, like in the last round, both teams did try something different. So you had the Sombra sitting on both sides, like Pairs and Tesman both did go for it, but it didn't favor out. But luckily they did it really early. But guys, if you want to play like Tesma and you want to dominate the game, just like him, here's how.
Oh, no, 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 no!
Gaming doesn't have to be like this. Are those tears? You need a machine that can keep up with you. The new Omen X. All those hours of training are about to pay off. Don't rage quit. Get the Omen X. Dominate the game.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Road to EGX qualifier number 5, proudly sponsored by Omen by HP. You want to dominate the game? Have a look at the lineup at road2egx.net, where you can find out about all the products. Of course, the players are playing for the EGX Super Tickets, which will grant all 4 days access to the, and of course the entry into the grand finals. It will be at Sunday at EGX itself, where the winners will all take home 1 laptop, proudly supported by Omen by HP, which is going to be some fantastic like products and prizes for them. And then of course, through a selected panel of people, including casters, production, everyone else, we'll be giving away 1 Omen X machine to who we think is the overall MVP of the tournament. And John, it's a fantastic product, having an Omen X. It's about £4,000. You're just looking at equipment right there.
I mean, yeah, it's a pretty prestigious price to be able to get your hands on. But it's not the only thing. Like a lot of the people I know are looking at these Omen laptops as travel computers. That obviously my friends are a little bit unique, because they are all sort of these caster people who run around the country talking about video games in various different places and need something to be able to carry around. But nonetheless, that doesn't take away from the fact that these things are very nice and portable, as well as providing all the power you need to give you a brilliant gaming experience. See if any of these players are using them as they try their best to dominate this game.
Yes, so of course, on the like Penguins are down 2-0 right now, so they're going to be on they need to reverse sweep, essentially need a 3-2 victory, and it's all got to start here. It's Legion Tower. It's essentially a King of the Hill style map, where the first to 3 points wins you the map itself. You're going to see maybe some different interactions. Pez is going back to the Zarya. Mazel is going to be bringing out the Farah. I think these two are a definite combination for success on this map.
Yeah, I mean, interesting. Samer now on this Mercy. That could be pretty interesting to see how that goes across for them. If it pays off going for those big reses, they do start to contest for this point. Just going to keep jumping on, and it looks like it's going to be, well, Nexus Gaming taking the early advantage as 3 kills go across pretty quickly. Takumi taking 2. Minecraft finds a boop as well onto Sky, and they just get cleaned out. Not looking good right now for the Penguins.
Yeah, it's not looking too good for the Penguins right now. It's a great start as well, once again, from the side of Nexus. Their priority targeting is very good. Taking out the Mercy straight away, and then Pez was also in the back line. Just got caught out by 3 or 4 different players. And right now, just Andrew, just being a little bit of a nuisance on this Tracer, just building up his ultimate, which he does achieve now. So he's going to have the Tracer bomb available. He's going to go for the pop, not going to be able to connect, trying to connect with this Mercy as a priority 1. But just damage going back and forth, but as the ultimates are going to be building. But as I'm saying, as Nexus are going to be able to get 2 kills. That's going to be Jamie and Afrin once again getting some kills. But Mazel on this Farah doing some great work as the res is going to come in. Triple res. Both reses now coming into effect as the fight is going to continue. And Nexus is building up the point of 40% and rising.
Absolutely. The rocket barrage completely cancelled out there by a lovely defense matrix from Jamie. Meant that he just went straight down. Even after the res wasn't enough. And they just get backed off yet again, and already they're over halfway there, and it doesn't look like they're over halfway done. So we'll see if they're able to continue jumping up, trying to take the high ground. They're just keeping them in spawn at this point.
Yeah, they're just keeping them in spawn, just keeping them trapped as the time is building up for the side of Nexus, and it's just a nightmare. But they just got to not overextend. Dragon Blade is going to come in. Lewis is going to be able to pick up one. Gonna see if he can pick up a second one, which he's not going to be able to. That's going to be a 1 going in, as the bomb from the Traitor is going to be able to pick up Sky. Sky's going to go down once again, and they're going to be tackling his Mercy. Mercy's sitting in the back line as Lewis and Andrew are going to be having a 1v1 duel. But as we're saying this, the time is still building up for Nexus. They're already on 90%, and Penguins need to get in there right now, or it's going to be a quick map number 1 for the side of Nexus.
Well, they're trying to find something. Pez gets one, gets quickly traded out by Andro. Again, the trade comes through. They're trying to find anything they can, and once more, the block from Jamie on the rocket barrage. Samer with a huge 3-man res means that they are on this point convincingly with the enemy, the Mercy going down there. They don't have the res available for Wraith blocks just yet, 90% on that. They're going to be looking to get that res on the point, but I don't think they're going to have the time to do so, as he is still futilely running towards that point. Graviton Surge, not going to be enough, Pez. Your team has lost this first one.
Yeah, not enough for Adopted Penguins. They're going to be down 1-0 already, guys. Unfortunately, it's just the Nexus just had such... They won that first key fight, got the control of the point, and then after that, just effectively trapped Penguins in their base. They didn't overextend either. They just kept them in their place. You had this, like Farah in the air, just doing some damage. Constant annoying damage, but we're going to see some changes coming into effect. So Tesman's going to be going on the Sunbirds. This is going to be your second point right now, but can Penguins do the comeback, John? That is my question to you.
No.
Straight up no. You don't.
Not messing about. I don't think they can do it. I don't think they have too much hope here. We'll see, though. I mean, it's always possible. It's only 1 point so far, so they've got a couple more to play with. Those boopings coming out pretty strong from Minecraft. Able, again, right at the start to just get Sky straight off the edge. And there we go. Lewis falling down as well with a second boot. Minecraft finds one, and there's the Mercy that goes down. And the point hasn't even unlocked yet, and half the team's already gone.
Yeah, and Mazel's going to be trapped, falling down, unfortunately. Not supported with the Mercy. Mercy went straight down. Brutal John Allen is saying in the chat right now, but Nexus are going to be just capturing the point once again, and Andrew is going to be on 60+%, just being a little bit of a nuisance right now. But yeah, the Mercy has to come in like effect as well for me. Like we saw like the 3 different reses coming into effect in that last game, but got to protect your healers, otherwise it's just not going to go. As they actually just cancel out almost all the abilities on the enemy team, and they're just wiping it straight through. Samer with a huge play coming out there. And there's not much more we can say about that, really. They all died. They all got sent back to spawn, ticking up to that 30-40% mark. And now they're just trying to hold them in that spawn once again. Yeah, Tesma almost having another ultimate build-up already. Gonna be like looking for this Mercy. Going invisible, trying to see if he can get anything, but great use. Getting the teleport straight out. Going to be also taking the heal as Dragon Blade is going to be popped. Lewis is going to be trying to find a couple of people with the Dragon Blade. Going to be swinging, but not going to be able to connect anywhere. Self-destruct is going to be popped into effect. Not going to be able to connect with anyone as Tesma is going to have the MP once again, and it's 60% on the side of Nexus and growing as kills are going back and forth. Sky and Mazel are going to pick up a 1 kill each, and they're going to be chasing down Tesma, but they're not going to be able to see it as the point is going to be contested as Mazel is going to go down to Tesma once again. Tesma doing fantastic work on his Sombra right now.
The Dragon Blade comes through for the defending side, and they just end up cleaning it out. They're able to seemingly just have endless people holding this point. It's ridiculous the amount of staggering they're able to do here, and the timing that they have gained over Adopted Penguins. Pez, very close to that Graviton Surge, has got it up, as well as the... Oh, that's a beautiful EMP. Stops the Rocket Barrage completely from Mazel, and they're able to just to clean it up. Pez dropped the Graviton Surge, but there was nothing to follow it up. That 4-man res, too little too late, I'm afraid. 2-0 is the scoreline here on Lijiang Tower.
What an EMP coming in. Like, as you said, Graviton Surge came into effect, but as the Rocket Barrage was just about to come in, just that EMP just completely destroyed the whole fight. There was nothing you could really do, and then like Winston that came out of nowhere, just got 3 instant kills, and that was it. The fight was done, and it's 2-0 in the side of Nexus Gaming. And it looks like, John, your prediction is going to come potentially true, and a swift 3-0 on the side of Nexus Gaming. I
was pretty confident in my prediction. I think we're going to see my end game prediction is that we're going to see a Nexus Team Bounty Hunters final. That's what I think we're going to see. I was a little bit perturbed when I actually saw the 5v6 situation come out, obviously on that first map, King's Row, but they did prevail anyway, so they're still 2-0, and the Concussion Blast doesn't actually manage to find any boots there.
Yeah, Concussion Blast isn't going to be able to connect with anyone right now, as Mazel is going to be on support of Apolox. But kills are just getting just some damage going back and forth right now. Not really too much going in. Pez is going to be building up his ultimate, but going to go straight down. Takumi says, no, you're not having that today. And with support, once again, it looks like the side of Nexus are going to be able to potentially capture this point. But it's being contested right now. Penguins is going to be sitting on there. That is going to be Eclipse. As I said, that Eclipse is going to go straight down, just leaving Mazel in the point, but Andro going to be able to trade him. And once again, Nexus taking a strong start going into this third point.
Sky jumps in once more, a little bit over aggressive there. Jamie able to take that one down. They take control of the bridge, and now they're going to be looking to zone them off the point completely. Stun is not going to be able to find any of its marks to get swallowed by that defense matrix, but Mazel able to pick up the kill onto Lucio. A nice little pickup, given the charge on his ultimate is very, very high. It's actually up now. Eclipse able to find the pick onto Jamie. Sky goes down though as he jumps off the edge. He had activated his ultimate there, but Arathin does just the same, and Apolox falls just in kind. There we go. Mike Rep and Eclipse both finding those ultimates going across. Sound barrier on both teams. So Rocket Barrage only finds the mech of Jamie. Takumi finds one onto Mazel, and this point is just getting contested, but no one is going anywhere as Arathin chimes in.
Yeah, it just looks like right now the side of Penguins are just flooding it one by one. They're not grouping or doing good priority targeting, so they're just trying to get the kill just for the kill. They're not going for the support first. They're not really doing too much, and overall it's a great support from Tesma as well on this Mercy, just keeping his teams alive. As Auto-Aim is going to come into effect, and Takumi is going to pick up a double kill. He's trying to take out Pez. Pez is going to be able to fall back though, but double kill coming in at 68% and rising. It looks like the side of Penguins are going to have one final opportunity.
They have one more push up their sleeve. They need to find these picks. Pez going to be looking for that big use of the self-destruct sequence. There's the chiming in from the from the self-destruct, goes and doesn't find anyone. Mike Rep gets the trade, and Andro versus Lewis there. Sound barrier coming out for the aggressing side of the Penguins. They need to find stuff if they kill, sorry, if they are gonna have any hope of jumping onto this point. Jamie finds 2, however. Apolox goes down, so no res available just yet. High Noon taken down, but there we go. Straight off the edge. See you later, says Arathin, as Lewis falls to a sort of a slow and slightly perplexing end, as he's just able to completely clean it up. And Arathin has been going absolutely wild on this Winston. Nexus Gaming take us the win.
And Nexus Gaming going to be advancing with a swift 3-0 over Adopted Penguin. Did look shaky at the start for Nexus, of course, losing that player in the first map of King's Row, but they got their composure together. So commiserations to Adopted Penguins. They're going to be eliminated from this single elimination bracket, as Nexus looking very strong coming into the final later on.
I'm behind